Jada Smith, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for doing an interview with us.
I'd rather be here than with Will Smith.
Okay.
You know, just this morning I made him cry.
Right. Why?
Just to see how it would feel, and it felt good.
That seems quite mean.
Really good.
Okay, well, why don't we talk about your new book?
Why don't we talk about the time I cheated on it?
Recently or in the past?
Yes.
Sorry, Jada, this was supposed to be a softball interview to help you promote your book, but all you've done so far is trash your husband.
Oh, he's not my husband. More like a pet.
What is the book even about? Is it just you saying horrible things about him and that's the whole book?
Everything I know about this relationship has been completely against my will and against Will's will, and also all of the information is against Will. None of it makes him look good. Do you remember when Will Smith was cool? It wasn't that long ago. Will Smith used to be cool, believe it or not. He was in Men in Black, he rapped and he didn't swear, and somehow that was cool. Now Will Smith has got to be the laughing stock of the entire world. Even really before he slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars, his downfall has been embarrassing, and it's all really because of Jada Smith. By the way, we have 2 camera angles now. Do you like it? Is it annoying? I like it. I think it's funny. If you don't like it, don't watch. If you do like it, subscribe. I feel like every 6 weeks, just when the world is about to forget about Will Smith's embarrassing relationship, Jada Smith pops out of nowhere and goes,
Hey, hey,
"What?
hey, guess what?
Stop.
Did you know?
Do you think I want to know?"
Did you know that Will and I no longer call each other husband and wife?
Oh, that's really good. So he dumped you after you cheated on him and then told the whole world about it and felt no remorse and actually laughed a few times about it?
No, he forgave me for that,
Oh.
and then I dumped him.
Right.
All right, well, the next time I think of something completely embarrassing and utterly humiliating to the father of my child, the man who loves me, I'm sure that I will let the entire world know he has a small penis.
Well, now that I know that, my life has gotten considerably worse. That's right. We all remember the Oscars slap where Will Smith jumped on stage after Chris Rock joked about Jada Smith and said, "Get my wife's name out of your fucking mouth," after slapping him in the face and getting himself banned from the Oscars for a decade. He's going to miss their 100-year anniversary. Terrible for his career. He hasn't landed any significant movie roles since. Not that he really should after Bright, but it really damaged his career. And as terrible of a mistake as that was, he did ultimately do it in defense of his wife. It was stupid, and it was nothing she needed defending from. It was just a joke, and it's entitled celebrity behavior, of course, but it did come from a place of love for his wife. And instead of seeing that and responding with love herself, Jada Smith instead decided to tell the whole world in her new book that Will Smith and Jada Smith haven't called each other husband and wife for 6 years.
2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was apart.
Yeah.
And even she was surprised to hear Will Smith call her his wife on the night of the Oscars. Hey, Jada, that's something that no one needs to know and no one really guessed at, and is only going to really severely hurt Will Smith and make him even more of a laughing stock than he already is. But I guess that seems to be your master plan, isn't it? I don't know. Knowing this just makes Will Smith's decision to stay around this woman even more confusing and kind of pathetic. Like, they don't have young children together. All their kids are grown up. They both make incredible money individually of each other, so neither one would be incredibly broke. I mean, I don't know why he's still there. It almost seems like Jada Smith knows something that we don't. Like, she's hanging something over Will Smith's head and going, "If you ever leave my bald ass, I'm going to drop the video of us fucking while you're dressed up as Tupac, and I'm saying Tupac's better than Will Smith while we play Hit 'Em Up. If you leave me, that shit's going on RedTube immediately." But as strange as all of this is, it's nothing new for the toxic relationship of Will and Jada Smith.
Just knew, I was like, I never wanted to be married. It was a horrible.
Even just in candid moments where Will doesn't know he's being filmed or doesn't know that the video is going to be released to the public, the way they interact with each other seems so bitter. Will Smith seems like relatively reasonable, and Jada just seems like full of poison barbs and malicious. Take this clip from a live stream that Jada Smith just blasted across her millions of fans to promote an interview with a woman who supposedly saved their marriage. Will does not know that this is being live streamed. He knows it's being filmed and he's unhappy with that, but it's clear that he doesn't know it's being broadcast.
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness. Please watch Esther at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
This type of communication where one person is clearly and respectfully communicating their boundaries and the other person is just completely disregarding that, making fun of them, calling their need and want for privacy or even just a bit of courtesy, like let me know when I'm about to be on camera. Calling that foolishness and then like throwing the fact that they had a woman help save their marriage in his face in front of millions of people is just weirdly toxic and incredibly disrespectful. Like, what are you doing around a woman who can so callously treat you like this when even she knows that it's being broadcast across the world? That is an old clip, but Jada hasn't changed at all. In this tour she's been doing to promote her upcoming book, which just seems to be full of embarrassing stories about Will Smith. It's called Worthy. Have a look at the cover. Who cares about the cover? Have a look at that jawline. I mean, I should have shown this to my surgeon. Look at that. That is perfect. I paid for mine and I'm looking at hers going, dude, who was her surgeon? Clearly God himself. That shit is sharp. Although I don't know about having a bald partner. I don't think I could have a bald girlfriend. Not because I don't think bald women are sexy. I see a lot of bald women online or women with short hair and I look at them and I go, wow, she's hot. I just think that I couldn't be trusted with a bald girlfriend. You know, like if I had a bald girlfriend, 100% all day, every day, way too often, I would be giving that thing a little slap. Not hard, just enough to hear like a little bit of a, you know, I'd be gripping that thing like a basketball. I would be throwing shit at it. I would have suction darts that I would buy, and I would buy a little toy bow and arrow, and I would try and shoot them from across the kitchen to get them to stick to her bald head. And that is not okay behavior, and that's why I don't have a bald girlfriend or a girlfriend with cancer, because even that wouldn't stop me from trying to get like little spit wads stuck on the back of her head. I just can't be trusted, and that's a flaw that I have that no woman and no bald woman deserves to deal with. Sorry, I got distracted there. A bit of a tangent about bald women. Oh man, that is... I really amuse myself sometimes. Anyway, Jada Smith, in her interviews, she's just letting loose secrets that make everybody think much less of Will, and then just a bunch of really weird things to say when you're still married. For example, she's constantly pining after Tupac, talking about how in love with him she is, and really making it seem like she would much rather be with Tupac, and if Tupac were alive, they would be together and they're soulmates, which I can almost guarantee he's up there in heaven or somewhere else just fucking rattling the cage going, that's not true. I didn't really know her. We were only friends when we were kids for a couple of years. I don't want to be in a relationship with this crazy woman. Look at what it's done to Will Smith. And it's not just alone when Jada Smith talks down about her husband and tells embarrassing stories. It's also when they're together. The way that they talk about each other when they're together is so different depending on whose platform it is and who's kind of leading the interview. For example, when Will and Jada Smith are together, this is how Will talks about her.
I am going to show up for her and support her for the rest of my life.
But when Jada and Will are together on her platform, she does an entire episode about how that one time she had an entanglement with one of her son's friends who was her son's age, who was staying at their house to recover from a crippling drug addiction that she then decided to fuck. Which, I don't know how high he was or how vulnerable he was, but it definitely sounds like taking advantage of an incredibly vulnerable person. and cheating on your husband and fucking your son's friend. Like, how evil can you get, and how much more could you damage your own family for the thrill of fucking a drug-addled 20-something-year-old?
And I was so upset that I had to have a wedding. I was so pissed. I went crying down the freaking aisle.
Getting married.
Getting married. Cried the whole way.
I don't know, man. I don't pretend to understand these Hollywood weirdos. I don't get it. I mean, every 6 weeks, Jada Smith says something about her husband that would make any wife on the planet or husband on earth leave their partner, no matter how long they'd been together. If you said that publicly, you'd be like, yeah, I'm out. But Will Smith hears that, has a little cry, and then does an interview in front of everyone where he says things like this.
Our union, it is a sloppy public experiment in unconditional love.
Yeah, look, dude, I don't like the term unconditional love. I think that term is reserved maybe for just for children, okay? I don't think we should be loving our partners unconditionally, because that's how abusive partners get away with doing that shit. There's no such thing as unconditional love. There is a point that every person should hit when they are disrespected to a certain amount or treated poorly to a certain amount, where even just for your own physical or just emotional safety and your own mental health, you should leave, okay? I mean, look at what this woman has done to the entire world's perception of Will Smith and seemingly to Will Smith himself. I mean, getting up at the Oscars and slapping someone is a real unhinged thing to do, especially for someone who is as well media trained as Will Smith. It's a snap, okay? And it's because this man has this woman's fingers in his brain and in his soul, puppeteering him like some kind of evil marionette maker. Run, Will. It's your only chance. You've got to escape. Get out of here. Go. But don't worry. I'm not going to leave you on a downer like that. I do have one hilarious thing to say at the end of all of this. Do you know who hit Jada Smith up immediately upon finding out that her and Will have not been calling each other husband and wife for years? Do you know who called her on the phone and immediately tried to take her out? I think you know. I think deep down you know, and you're not going to believe me when I say it, but she said it, and it's so funny. That's right, Chris Rock. Immediately, the millisecond after he found out they're no longer together, calls Jada up on the phone and goes, hey, can I take you out? Which is just a level of dastardly evil revenge that I haven't seen since the last time Jada Smith did an interview where she talked about her husband. Well played to Chris Rock. And that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you very much for watching. Check out the podcast. Spearhead Sundays comes out every single Sunday on YouTube and on Spotify. We got the video version on Spotify. It's great. I want you to listen to it. I'm going to talk to you in a few days. I am back. I'll see you soon. Check out the podcast and subscribe.